Okay, so let's talk about the political genius of Donald Trump. Say what? Yeah, that's right. That's what we're going to talk about right now. The political genius of Donald Trump. Is there a method to Donald Trump's madness? Or is he crazy? Is he crazy like a fox or is he nuts? Well, let's examine, okay? One of the things that has happened to me, but has seemed to happen to nobody else on the planet, nobody in the media, and none of Donald Trump's opponents, it does not seem like they have changed, that they have lived through the same year and a half or 2 years that I have lived through, because they seem to have learned nothing from it. Nothing in their assessment of Donald Trump has changed whatsoever. Whereas I see him in a completely different place. And what I see is what he's doing is a way deeper game than anybody else gives him credit for. Most assuredly, there is a method to his madness. And he is doing things intuitively doing things that are creating this success. Well, let's examine. What do I mean? If you watch the Republican primaries a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, one of the things that Donald Trump does, and he does it routinely, so it is not an accident and he's not just a lummox, okay? One of the great skills of Donald Trump is he enables all of the people who are his opponents to completely underestimate him and think he is just being dumb or just, unhinged or crazy or not that sharp. When in fact he is doing something very, very skillful because he does it time and time and time again. Go all the way back to John McCain. You do not insult his war hero status. That's a sacred cow. You don't touch it. You never say that. And if you remember the response as soon as he said that, I like guys that don't get captured, something like that. The response was immediate, the pundit in the smart class. Oh my God, he's done. Put a fork in him, he's done. You don't ever say something like that. So that was one example of the pattern. Okay? George Bush, same thing. He starts taking on the Bush family. I think they were in South Carolina primary. Starts talking about the Bushes and the war in Iraq. Again, pundits, same response. Oh my God, you never say something like that, especially not in South Carolina. Blah, 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 blah. It's over. Put a fork in him. That's the same pattern, time and time again. He creates a dust-up on purpose. He creates all this chaos and commotion on purpose. Everybody's freaking out. All his opponents are salivating, okay? And Donald Trump is perfectly and utterly comfortable in the chaos that he created. He thrives on it. What would be the purpose of that? Well, one thing is the purpose of that is if you create a commotion, you create a commotion every time, but you're comfortable there. You see the limits of your opponent's power against you. Remember, he decimated the Republican primary. He didn't just win, he crushed everybody. And he beat Hillary Clinton. And the song, the refrain against him was the same all the way through the election with Hillary Clinton. He can't win. Oh my God, he's gone too far this time. Here's where it falls apart. Here's where all the wheels come off. We're in the same thing right now. He's been president for a little over a month. Same refrain. The wheels are coming off. His presidency is in chaos. He's in meltdown. His opponents are destroying him. And from where I stand right now, I see quite clearly that he is winning. He is beating the media and he is beating his opponents. How can you possibly say that? Because I'm paying attention. I am paying attention and I'm not going to make the same stupid mistakes of observation that I made a year ago. I bought into everybody else's assessment based on conventional wisdom. But Donald Trump upends conventional wisdom. He makes conventional wisdom work in his favor. And the strategy is the same time and time again. He's not stupid. He's not blind. He knows what the sacred cow is, and then he takes aim at the sacred cow, and he says the thing you're not supposed to say, and the reaction is always the same. Everybody has a freak out. Everybody has a meltdown except him. He thrives on the chaos. In the chaos, he learns the limits of his opponent's power against him. He is intuitive. He picks up some stuff that other people do not perceive. That is how he learned that he learned something that I didn't even know. That the conservative wing of the Republican Party has no real conservative. There is no such thing as true conservatives in the Republican Party. The reddest of the red state people don't really care about ideology. I had no idea of that. He learned it. He picked it up on the fly, using the strategy. Using the same strategy. Create chaos. Shoot at the sacred cow, create a firestorm, watch everybody freak out, and learn the limits of their power against you. It's the same strategy. He's used it now 100 times in 2 years, and nobody sees it. Because part and parcel of the strategy is that your ideological opponents or your opponents underestimate you. They think you're stupid. They think you don't see the sacred cow. They think you're a moron for saying what every smart person knows you just don't say. For doing what every smart, intelligent, wise person knows you just don't do. He knows you just don't do it too. That's why he does it. Because he knows it's going to create a firestorm. And in that firestorm, he will see the limits of your power. He alone thrives on the chaos. Everybody else, freaks out. Nobody generally likes chaos. Trump seems to love it, or at least create it every week. This game hasn't changed, people, and the things that they're saying about him sound remarkably similar to the things they were saying in August. He's over. He's surrounded by chaos. He can't do anything. He can't get anything going straight. He's constantly erratic, constantly unhinged. It's remarkably similar to what was happening in the campaign, and it's almost identical to what was happening in the primary. It's a pattern. It's a pattern that he is used to, and he knows how to work intuitively. It's not something that he knows that he could write down in a book and tell you his process, but it's the same thing every single time. That's why he's going to beat the media. Yeah, he's going to win, and keep in mind that the media is an extraordinarily powerful institution in American life. I'm a Democrat, okay? But one of the things that I know I was amazed to see was how powerful the media was and how much they were completely, the conservative charge of liberal bias in the media is so 150% true that I never thought a Republican was going to get near the White House again. Because they distort everything in favor of the Democrat. Every word that gets written in the campaign gets distorted in favor of the Democrat. The difference this time is that Trump understood how to make the media make their opposition. He understood how to turn the whole game on its head. And part of it is he does what you're not supposed to do, what you shouldn't do. And everybody thinks he's a dumbass. That's a big part of it. So they don't see him winning as he's winning. They don't see him winning right now. And I'm telling you right now, the score is Trump is way ahead of the left, and he's way ahead of the media. And as I see it right now, he's a lock for re-election. The only really important political thing that happened was he threw out TPP, and he's going to renegotiate NAFTA. Those are the two most important things. Those further solidified his base in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. That is going to be the tale he tells in 4 years, and it's going to be convincing. The working class hero who was trying to keep manufacturing jobs in the country. Whether that's the way you do it or not is immaterial. Politically, it was a masterstroke, and it went unnoticed. Every other thing that has happened is part of the same pattern, including the Muslim ban. Trump creates chaos. Trump creates a dust-up. Trump thrives in the dust-up. Everybody else thinks Trump is falling apart. His opponents lick their chops thinking he's falling apart, and he isn't. How does he manage to stay alive when he's been falling apart 50 times in the last year? Because he's never actually falling apart. He is deliberately creating a chaos that he is comfortable in. And in that chaos, he is learning the limits of his opponents. He is testing their limits of their power. And then he finds out, lo and behold, that they are toothless. They're paper tigers. And we're going to find out the same thing about the mainstream American media. As powerful as I thought it was, Trump is going to expose it as toothless. Toothless. Watch. Watch it happen. That's my prediction. Watch and learn. Watch and learn. I used to predict that Trump was not going to win. That Trump could never win. And part of the reason that my thesis was he could never win was because the mainstream media was going to do exactly what I said it was going to do. And it did it. It was going to constantly, he was going to create everything he said and did. It was going to be a 5-day news cycle, and it was going to show him, and there was no way he was going to cut through that noise. Well, he found the way to cut through the noise. Surf on it. Enjoy it. Create more of it. He found the exact way to cut through the noise. Create it yourself and thrive on it. Create it yourself and thrive on it, and have your opponents underestimate you and see how little they got going for them. It's genius. It's near genius, people. I'm telling you the truth. Watch it. Watch it with your eyes open. You'll see the same thing. It has not changed. And Trump is winning right now and not losing. He is winning, and he's winning by a big score. And he's only going to get better at it as the years go on. So watch and learn. That's my prediction. And I'm through making the wrong predictions. So watch and learn. Because what I just told you is what is really going on. Watch and check it out for yourself.